This is me crashing out to Tottenham fans crashing out over Thomas Frank after that North London derby defeat. Does that make sense? Look, nobody's sitting here from a Tottenham fan perspective and saying that our performances have been exhilarating this season. It's been exciting to watch. It's been painful on many occasions, especially defeats and performances against Chelsea, Arsenal, where Tottenham fans take these defeats perhaps more personally than some other results, some other defeats. And especially because of the nature of them, right? The lack of real attacking intent, the desire, the intensity, the attacking purpose, patterns of play or lack of. And nothing to give the fans to hold on to. However, I believe, and in all walks of life, the person in charge of this deserves the chance to overcome adversity, especially when we're not even in December yet of his first season. I am someone who is big on constructive criticism, which is why I can't entertain fanboys who can't see any wrong in anyone. Right? So as much as I will say Thomas Frank needs time to overcome adversity, there are things he has to address. And he does have to address these soon if he is to get the backing of the fans who pay their hard-earned money to go week in, week out, home and away, and are having to put up with what we're watching, right? If you don't take risk, you also take risk. Something that Thomas Frank said in the summer, right, when coming into this club. It's classic politician talk, isn't it? Say what fans want to hear, say what people want to hear, but you never quite deliver on those promises. Now, we didn't specify a time in which we would take risk. However, we're into December and I don't think any Tottenham fans have seen any risk whatsoever. So, if he is to earn his salt, if he is to convince fans that he can go from a club with lower expectations to a club that, again, for me, have far loftier expectations than perhaps is a reality. However, if you're going to do this, at some point, you've got to live up to things like this, which are a big, big quote. But for me, half of the problem is on social media. And it's accounts like this who will change their mind every 5 minutes and will bring about even more ridicule to a club and more divide in a fan base. Like professing to not be a Tottenham fan, but masquerading as one when it suits. So before the game, they'll say, wow, man, I love Thomas Frank, back five, courage and all that. Then after the game, if he isn't sacked tonight, then the club has zero pride and deserves to remain a laughingstock. Like, whoa, why so reactionary? Why so extreme? And it makes you realise everything. I'm sure this is a parody, but everything is for views. Everything is for engagement. Everything is for money nowadays on social media. But that still fuels divide within a fan base. All it becomes is Ange in versus those who are Ange out. Frank in versus Frank out fans, right? Instead of Tottenham fans looking and assessing and going, come on, in all areas of life, if someone's been in charge for 3 months, you need to give them a bit more of a chance, right, to overcome adversity. It might not be pretty, but in the grand scheme of things, we can't keep making these micro decisions that all of a sudden, this man's not good enough for our club. Frank isn't good enough. Ange isn't good enough. Nuno isn't good enough. Conte isn't good enough. Mourinho isn't good enough. Well, who's good enough for Tottenham, according to these people? And I want to finish like this because far too many football fans, and this is the whole point of this video, are very short term. Now, look at the last 5 or 6 years, Arsenal and Tottenham. That North London derby was a culmination of one team's progress, Arsenal, and one team's regression. So Tottenham's downward trajectory has looked a bit like this. Down, little up with a league position finish, little up Europa League, but we've constantly been going down. Arsenal, up, steady, so steady, to the point where you genuinely believe they could win a Premier League and a Champions League this season. That wouldn't surprise you. They've got 2 strong starting 11s, first 11 and backup 11. The backup 11 is still stronger than Tottenham's first 11, right? And that's a process of trust and faith in what Arteta's been doing, and he's had his doubters, right? And yeah, at some point you've got to get a trophy over the line. But where would you rather be? A team that goes into every single game believing you're going to win? Or a team where whatever manager it's under, you're like, oh, I'm just not confident anything's going to happen. I'm either too attacking or I'm too defensive, I'm this and that. These expectations, readjust. Accept that at some point, someone needs time. Yeah, of course, Frank might not be the right man. But then people go, oh yeah, but Iriola, oh yeah, but Silva, oh yeah, but Glasner. What makes you believe they're going to be any different to Frank? Yeah, the same reasons you're blaming Frank are only being able to do it at Brentford, can't do it at a big club. Same could apply to them. So the truth is, who is good enough for Tottenham? Because we've had the elite. We've had the small club managers. But nothing's ever been good enough for our club.